Peace and blessings to everybody home and abroad, right? What I want to talk about is the sheer disconnection between reality and what we see from day to day, you know. There's so much historical information that one must cipher through from antiquity to now. And a lot of us, we feel that we know enough. And that's where we get hindered at. And that's where we lose focus and start to veer off of true prosperation, where we could be liberated from the evil that plagues our lives from coast to coast, man. From coast to coast. A lot of us don't even, think that we're being duped, really. Or we don't know how to get out of the situation that we're in as far as being black, Hispanic, even sometimes the Esau, What people don't understand is the way everything works. As above, so below, right? See, when you look at diseases, parasites, bacterias, you can't have any left behind within you, because then it can always replicate and come back. And sometimes it will come back stronger and fuller. And a lot of people don't realize that the earth has a parasite on it, which, like, AIDS or cancer, it will take the blood cells, the regular cells, regular things on the earth, and flip it to its way of life. And that's a way of life of destruction. So if you look at the earth in that manner, that's what they do. The key is when they put on different streams of outlets that we, the people, do this, or us humans do this, or we have a drug problem, or alcohol, or these people, instead of, really going towards the culprit. We treating the symptoms and not the actual disease itself. There was times when places were built with mud and cement, stone. There was times when that was happening until because that's limitless. You can always make that and not disturb the ecosystem. The ecosystem is the things that we breathe, the things that we eat, the things that sustain the earth that we live in. We seem to eat things that clean the ocean. We seem to build our homes with things that give us oxygen. We seem to kill food that takes away other foods that will harm us. So but there's a particular group that destroys the ecosystem and make you believe that we all are the same and this is the way that things should be or are or will ever be. These are the things when you proclaim or show people this is what's happening, and then but you don't attach a particular person to it, they will agree. They're cutting down trees, they're killing all the fish, they're killing the whales, they're destroying national parks, they are killing many birds, they put in pesticides on foods that everybody eats, they are putting hormones in different foods that people eat, but we can't point the finger at them. We can't say it's them. But then we can't say there's a hierarchy to it. This is all a spiritual matter. So when God says that this person is going to be destroyed, how do we fight against that? When we know that having a cancer in your body destroys the body. We are like cells on the earth. Black, Chinese, Arab, white, Africans, Native Americans. We all realize this. Right? We all realize that cancers destroy the body, and they all have their particular standpoint or their particular job within the earth. So when you look at it in that aspect, and then you say, you know what? There is somebody that's destroying the earth. And then you point the finger at them. And you say, this man, none of them can live because he will do it again. We're not saying they can't come back. That's another topic. But at this point, they have to be gone in order for life to resume, where we can start to build again with stone and rocks and sand, things that are meant to be used, not trees. There was a time when Native Americans, before they killed an animal, they would pray to God that they forgive and pray for forgiveness from the animal, because they know that killing this animal may or may not destroy or hinder the ecosystem. Some people don't observe that or care about that, but we should. Those that claim to be the anointed of God, you should care about that, because this is your home. If you live in a house and a particular person lives with you, but they're always starting stuff with everybody in the house, isn't that person like a cancer? But you can't say that when you're talking about the earth. And then you can't say, oh, well, this person has to die because for some reason, death is the end-all, be-all now. But it's obviously not. A lot of us don't even want to study or get information or to learn anything to exist on a place, on a planet where these things are happening. It's kind of sad, and feel like there's nothing you can do at this point, right? That's what it feels like. Because then you go out and you try to teach people, hey, look, man, Hermes Trismegistus, or Jupiter and Zeus are the same people, or Horus is Zeus, and the gods in the Hindu religion are the same as the pantheon in Greek or the Roman or in Egypt. You can't associate all the religions together, because now you are being something that they don't want you to be. They talk about an alchemist as a chemist, But then you read books where alchemists were people that follow God and knew the real God. I'm gonna do a video on alchemy soon. I'm just now learning it, but I'm gonna do a video on that. But one thing that people fail to realize is a lot of the associations between the historical figures in the Bible are similar because they're the same, and nobody stole anything from anybody. My brother or my sister is gonna say the same thing as me if we live in the same house and we deal with the same situations. Maybe the stories might differ a little bit from their perspective, but the stories are always the same. There were gods. Some were good and some were evil. Some helped, some didn't. This is the same thing when it comes to human beings. Some are good and some aren't. Some are murderers and some aren't. Some are lovers, some aren't. Some like to fight and some don't. It's all about what you think here or see here. Whatever you see here within is what you see without. If you always consistently hate things, that's all you're going to consistently feel is happening. Hatred towards you. You love everything and you're kind and you're gentle. That's all you're going to attract, it feels like. You may not even be attracting those things, but that's what you perceive to be attracting. So that's all that you're going to see. This is an illusion. All of it. All of it. And the way that they manipulate it to you is to make you think it's one thing when it's not. Question, what money do giraffes, rhinos, hippos, fish, birds, lions, tigers, bears, any animal on the earth use to eat? What money? What money do they use to find water? What job do they do in order to get the money for the food? I'm not saying we shouldn't work to eat, but the difference between the work should be different than we are doing now. You shouldn't be working to get money to get food. You work to make the food. It's a difference. It's a difference. This is part of the Parasites' agenda. As long as they are doing what we want them to do, they can never destroy what we have. The bank teller, he holds the money that you use to go to the store, the grocery store. Then the driver for the grocery store gets the money that he gets to drive the food to the grocery store. Then the workers go in and prepare the foods for you to buy. It's an ecosystem. If you don't look at the natural ecosystem, you look at the artificial ecosystem. This is what the Matrix was about. The parasites that control your everyday thought, your perception on what life is. This is what Christ's been trying to tell you. You serve the devil. You can't serve two masters. If one master tells you, oh, I gave you food. Look, there's cows grazing. There's horses, transportation. There's horses all over. It might take you a minute, but he didn't say you couldn't create a car or a plane to move faster. He never told you couldn't do it. But then the parasites that seen that you was going to be able to do it took hold of it. And now make you use money to get stuff. Money sometimes is a good thing too. But it shouldn't be the thing that rules your life. Money should be the agreed exchange for particular goods if you don't have something else that a particular person wants. Right? So if I have corn, right, and I'm looking for goats, 2-3 goats, because I want, to eat goat, and I want my family to eat that for a particular holiday or a meal. And the person that I'm going to buy the goats from, I say, you know what? I have corn. I grow corn. I will give it to you for a substantial amount of corn for these goats. And if he doesn't want that, then I can also have money to exchange for him so that he can find that particular thing that he wants if his goats or sheep or whatever he has is not in a barter system in the next exchange that he has. That's what money should have been or should be. Something that is agreed upon across the earth that you can barter with if you don't have what other people want. But we made it to a point where we don't think nowhere close to that. Nowhere close to that. And this hinders us big time. And if a person like me that uses wisdom to impart that on people so that they can understand outside of what TV or the news is telling you, they say I'm lazy, I don't want to work, or I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, this is what God really wanted for us, to be humans on a place that he created, working every day. He said, by the sweat of thy brow you should eat. Not by the sweat of your brow you should work for somebody to get money to get something that I'm freely giving you, as long as you work out there in that damn field. We take information and the philosophies and the knowledge that our ancestors imparted on us for granted, or as they don't know what they're talking about. Some of the things when they're talking about God is not about God, it's about us. It's about us realizing we are the gods that was the ones that told us not to do the shit. That's another topic. But at the end of the day, this is truth. I don't have anything else but to give that. Whatever God bestowed on me, I'm bestowing to the rest of the people, because this is how it's supposed to be. But nobody wants it to be like that. Another thing before I go, we have started a new year. Spring has officially started. That's when the new year officially begins, when the animals wake and the flowers bloom and the ecosystem is able to regenerate. Nothing begins in the midst of death. I mean, people are born in the midst of death because that's a different thing. But it's a new year, and I want to wish everybody a happy new year, which starts in spring. So with that, man, I'm Furious Black, and I appreciate you guys watching and taking the time to, pay attention to me. A lot of people, they don't care for knowledge anymore. They feel they know. They feel they have to work 80 hours a week for $500. You're more precious than gold, but $500 can't even buy you a real gold chain. So hey, thank you for watching. I'm Furious Black.